and welcome back to my channel. If you're new around here, I'm Holly and I have a sewing, pattern cutting and fashion channel. And for today's video, I'm going to be talking through all the essential pieces of kit that you're needing in your sewing kit when you study fashion design at university. This video is for students who will be coming up to starting uni in September, October for doing fashion design. I graduated almost a year ago now from the University of Creative Arts, which is in England, in fashion design. And when I started uni, they could give you a list really at the first couple of days, and it's like, you need to get all this kit in a couple of weeks because you don't need it. So this video is to kind of prep and get ready for you starting your course in September, and hopefully spread out the cost of the course because it can be quite pricey. There's a lot you need to buy to study fashion, which I found out very quickly. So here we go. So this is the kit, the essential kit that you need to be able to do all your sewing, your pattern cutting, everything like that over your 3 years of studying fashion design. First up, you will be needing scissors, which if you already sew, you might have in your kit, but you will be needing some fabric scissors. I seem to have acquired quite a few different pairs of scissors, or fabric scissors, all different sizes, which it does get quite helpful, you know. When you study fashion design, you'll be doing a lot of sewing, a lot of toiling, and a lot of cutting fabric. So it is always handy to maybe have more than one pair. My pairs I got are not really expensive pairs. I got these are actually from Aldi, and they're really good. They got a really good handle, quite soft. And also, so you'll need fabric scissors, and you'll also need paper scissors. Your paper scissors doesn't have to be fancy scissors either. These are just standard normal scissors that came in a pack of 3. Again, I've got different sizes of these, and that was quite helpful during uni, because you know, you cut different sizes. If you lose a pair, you've always got another pair, you know, that sort of thing. So the first thing on your list is you need fabric and paper scissors, 2 separate types of scissors, very important. Second thing that you'll be needing is lots of fabric pins, and I mean lots and lots and lots. Again, you'll be doing lots of sewing, pinning on the stand, especially if you're draping on the stand with fabric. You need a lot of pins, and also they seem to just go missing. They either fall out of fabric, fall on the floor, or you leave them on a stand and someone takes that stand and stole your pins. So you need a lot of pins. I just got mine. When I mean pins, I mean literally just, you know, those type of pins. I always get the ones with a little ball and a head on the top of it, just for ease, to hold them easily. But a lot of people use the ones that haven't got that. It's got a flat metal edge. Some pins. Also, I found really helpful, which isn't necessarily, you don't need these, but you need the pins, are clips. And they look like this. They're like little fabric clips. Depending on what you're sewing, you can't always pin, like leathers, anything that, or really fine fabrics that are going to leave a hole. You would be needing some clips, and these are just from Amazon or eBay, really, really cheap, you know, a couple of pounds for maybe 20 or 30. So that's also a really good investment as well. The next item you'll be using, if you're a home sewer and you have a domestic sewing machine, you're kind of used to sewing with, you can cut your threads off on the side of the machine. When you're going to be sewing at university on the industrial machines, most likely, they haven't got that function, so you'll need some type of scissors or snips to cut your threads while sewing. I find snips quicker when you're sewing on an industrial machine, and you can just leave these next to your machine, and they're just like these. You just do that, and it's so much quicker grabbing them and using a little snip instead of getting your scissors and cutting. I tended to leave some snips, some pins and that sort of stuff by my designated machine, and then have all my scissors and sewing equipment over on my desk. with the garment, but that was just how I worked, and quite a lot of people did that. So you definitely want to get yourself some snips. These were really cheap. These are about, I think about £1 or £2 on eBay. And they've lasted a very long time. Like, I think I bought these at the start of my degree and they've been going for a good 3-4 years now with constant use. So always get yourself some snips just for quickness and easy. Snips. Also, again, which you might have already in your sewing kit, but you'll definitely be needing you'll definitely be needing some type of seam ripper. When you're sewing so much, you're going to make mistakes, you're learning, you're toiling. Even if you don't make a mistake while sewing, toiling at fittings, it's just easier to get a seam ripper, cut a seam and repin, fitting, that sort of thing. I always recommend a large seam ripper just because they're so much easier to hold in the hand than the really small ones. There's nothing worse than you getting really angry, cutting your seams with the smallest seam ripper, and it's just easier. Again, I got this on eBay, maybe or Amazon, I think it was eBay, for a couple of pounds. So get yourself at least one seam ripper. Again, you can have this maybe easier because you have it in your kit, or you can have one by your sewing machine and one on your desk or your sewing box. So seam ripper, essential. Another thing that you probably won't have in your normal sewing kit, but you'll be needing for fashion design when you're pattern cutting. A lot of the course is pattern cutting because you make your own designs, then you make your own patterns, and then you sew your garment. And for that, you'll be needing some notches like this. It's this metal device, this little hole punch that does this, that creates notches, nice notches. You can use the scissors, but notches, a little cut out notch is a lot nicer on your patterns, to mark notches on the patterns. You'll be needing this. These, you know, you can pay whatever you want really for notches. Again, I think I got these on eBay or Amazon for maybe £10. They are more of the pricier item that you'll be needing in your kit, but you will be needing them for pattern cutting. And the sort of thing, once you've got, you tend to have. Mine are still really sharp. So yeah, so you need some notches. Another piece of equipment that you probably won't have in your normal domestic sewing kit, it is a tracing wheel, and it is basically, there's a few versions that you can get that are similar to this or look slightly different, or smaller pins, but basically, hopefully you can see that. It is a wheel with spikes on. Can be a bit dangerous if you just put it in your sewing bag and you put your hand in and you get spiked. So always be aware of that. It can be a bit of a lethal weapon. But you will be needing this in your kit 100%. This is for tracing off your maybe patterns onto paper. Either if you've draped a pattern on a stand using fabric and you need to transfer that onto the paper and make a paper pattern, or just tracing off paper pattern onto paper pattern. Because when you're pattern cutting, you do end up having loads and loads of versions where you've just adapted that pattern and you redrafted it. So get yourself a tracing wheel. Again, you can pay quite a lot or not so much for this. I can't remember how much. I think I got 2 of these for maybe £5 or something. Again, I think it was eBay. I'll leave everything linked below that I find that works well and I recommend. So yeah, that is your tracing wheel. Now you'll be needing to, you might have this in your sewing kit already, so if you have it, great, keep it. You'll need some type of chalk or an invisible pen to be marking your fabric, or the details from the pattern. I have used this rolling chalk pen. It's like a little roll, you go like that, and you got like a line of chalk. I don't know if you can see that. It uses loose chalk. Oh no. Anyway, so this is a more expensive version, but it for me is a lot easier to hold than a piece of chalk. A piece of chalk you can pay only a couple of pounds for, like they're really, really cheap. This was maybe £5 to £10, I think. Again, you can get it from Amazon, and then you just refill the chalk colour inside once it's run out, but you'll definitely be needing some type of pen, chalk to mark your fabric and patterns. For pattern cutting, you'll be needing a one of these type of pencils. Mine's so dirty, so don't look at it, it's too dirty. You know, one of these mechanical pencils which you can push up the lead. This is because when you're pattern cutting, you need the most accurate fine line as possible. If you use a pencil, like a normal pencil, it can go blunt really easily, and then your line that you're drawing can get wider, and then it just adds a few more mils onto the pattern you're making, so it's not as accurate. So get yourself a very good mechanical pencil for all the pattern cutting that you'll be needing, because you'll be doing a lot, and it's just easier also, and also you're not having to keep sharpening it when it goes blunt. So it's just quicker to get a mechanical pencil. Lastly, I think this is our last item, I think. You will be needing, actually no, I've got one more after this. Again, you might have this in your sewing kit, so keep it, great. You'll be needing a hand sewing needle. Very, very important, because again, the amount of sewing you'll be doing, and you know, you have to finish things off by hand if needed. So grab yourself, you can get them in like larger packs and different sizes for only a couple of pounds. So get yourself some hand needles, because you'll definitely be needing them. So next up, you'll be needing some thread. This could be any type of thread. When you very first start university of the course, the first few months, you'll be practicing and learning different stitches, techniques, sewing finishes, seams, hems, that sort of thing, where you just need random thread. I would recommend getting black thread over white at the start, because then you can really see how accurate your sewing is when you're practicing these seams and hems. And then you do things like, you know, getting your used to the machine and how fast the machine sews. So grab yourself a big roll of black thread for that, for the start of that. Next up is really important, that won't be in your already sewing kit, and this is a pattern master. Mine's a little bit dirty and it's been used a lot. It looks like this, hopefully you can see. It is basically a fancy ruler for pattern cutting and making patterns. This was recommended for me at my course to use and to buy, and most, you know, it's used a lot through industry and through your 3 years of studying. I got the official Pattern Master brand. You can get cheaper versions of it, but I've heard that the lines and stuff don't last as long compared to the official Pattern Master. I can't remember how much this was. It is more expensive than the cheaper versions, obviously, but it is good and nothing has worn, and it's worked really well. I'll leave this link down below so you can click it and have a look. But basically it gives you centimeters down here, you got hems, you got the centimeters along here, you have some curves, seam allowance for the curves. So this is a really important bit of kit, which you'll be using literally every day over the next 3 years when you're studying. That's the Pattern Master. The last thing that you'll be needing, and you'll be using a lot through the next 3 years, is a industrial bobbin for your machine. Now I had one, I got it out for this video, and it has completely disappeared. I have no idea where it is. Now these bobbins are a lot different compared to most of the domestic sewing machines that you might be using at home already. And these are metal, and they come in a special metal casing which all fits together and then goes into the machine. Now I wouldn't recommend buying one of these before you start university, because sometimes they vary for what type of industrial machines your university will use, but you will definitely be needing to buy at least one of these through the years, because you will be sewing on their machines, and you have your own. In how it worked at my university, or both my universities, was that you had your own bobbin to use on any machine that you choose. The bobbin isn't in the machine, if that makes sense. So yes, so that is something that you will need to budget for. They will be sold from your university, yeah, for not a huge amount of money, but it is something that you'll be needing, very precise in your kit for this degree. Now, thank you so much for watching today's video, and I hope you liked this more fashion student content. If you want any more videos, then please ask me and request some. If you're going to be a new fashion student and you need some more tips, then let me know. I have a sewing blog and a sewing Instagram account, which I will leave all the links below for that, so you can follow me on those platforms. And yeah, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Would be lovely to have you. And yeah, and I'll see you again soon. Thanks. Bye.